Hey everybody, Jess Intuitive Angel Healer here with your Grounded. Thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to episode number 3 of Entrepreneurs for Change, our weekly heart-centered spotlight. And today we have somebody you may remember from my Telling Stories by the Sea podcast. This is Renee Schultz. Hi, Renee.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. I am so excited to
Sweet.
have you here today. Today, we're going to be talking about your publishing company, Knoll Publishing, and we're going to talk about your book, A Million More Kisses. You want to just give us a little bit about who you are and your company and where you're from and what you guys do?
Okay. Well, I'm Renee Schultz and I'm from New Hampshire. I started Knoll Publishing. I didn't know if after I wrote my books, if I'd want to become a publisher. So I just called it Knoll Publishing to cover all my bases. I just released my first book for kids on loss and grief in October. It's doing very well. And I have 8 more storylines, we call them storyboards, and you have like a story down and you just got to kind of put it together. So I'm working on one of them for the actual Woody Knoll series. The first book I just put out was on dementia and loss, and that was with Geronimo, my chihuahua, and my mother-in-law. And that's kind of a separate specialty book. But then I have the Woody Knoll series that I'm working on, and they're books that are geared towards helping kids overcome trauma. Or my first one is actually on like ADHD and social anxiety and different things little Timmy Turtle overcomes. And so that's really excited. And then I'm trying to get into coaching. I've been mentoring self-harming teens on Instagram for a few years, and crisis coaching, volunteering for first responders. And so I'm on TikTok, but I'm struggling with getting videos going and getting my thing out there. But I have written like a whole MAP program, MAAP, on how to overcome trauma. And so I teach that to people. Hopefully one day in the future, within like a year, I'll be stop being able to put out videos for them. But I do have a Calendly link that we can provide if anyone out there is struggling with purpose or shame or, overcoming trauma. You want to smash goals and you're not sure like where to begin. What do I do? How am I supposed to feel? How do I change this thought process that keeps me in this constant roller coaster, right? The cycle. My soul spritzer, it's a 45-minute, we go through and talk about boundaries and what you need to take out of your life and what you can incorporate in your life, like coping skills and things to help you overcome and smash goals.
I always say that the coaching business is hyped up, and I'm one of the people that people go, oh, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. I did say that, and everybody knows that I'm true, and I call it like it is. And I think that sometimes people put a little too much emphasis on social media. I think it's a little silly that the standards are that you're supposed to do like 5 lives a day and 20 talks. And excuse me, I'm going to tell you, I worked in a doctor's office. I don't remember one time my doctor, I don't ever remember them getting up doing TVs. That's the last thing that you're ever going to see them doing. So don't put yourself too hard on our social standards that you're supposed to be a rock star therapist on TV, because it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the best people, kind of like the record producers, are the people you see in the background. So sometimes the best healers you'll never even heal about. You know why? Because they dread social media. They will not be on it. And most of us only come on here because we know we have to have that connection to, the world and share it. But don't feel bad if you don't flow and you don't look like Tony Robbins. You're a lot cuter than Tony Robbins. So
Mel Robbins, oh my girl, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
just
think
saying,
I'll ever be that.
there's a lot of everybody's good at stuff, and some singers are better at being singers in the booth than they are at stage. Here's a fun fact.
Right.
Watch the documentary of Cher. She had stage fright, like complete huge stage fright, and she couldn't even sing to stage. When she sang in the 70s, she had to look straight at Sonny Bono. So if you look at her videos, she's staring straight at him because she was terrified. And like, how are you terrified and you're walking around in a thong with some sea guys behind you? Yeah. And that's how it started out, is she got really scared of the world because she didn't, she was brought up, she wasn't even supposed to be brought into this world, and that messed with her. So then she came out, and then she got hurt in her relationship really bad, and then she turned, that's what I love her story though, because she turned all of that into what she could have been, which we all know what she could have turned out to be, but she turned out to be this amazing woman. And that's what I see in you. And that's why I keep bringing
I
you
love
back,
that.
because I want more women like yourself that are real and know that, hey, I don't have perfect hair. I may not have perfect etiquette, but I have a heart that is the size of Texas and bigger, and that's all that matters out here. Because when it comes to sharing the darkness with someone, nobody cares what you look like. Okay, how many girlfriends have you helped out and they're mascara and they got the ugly cry going on, and you're like, let me just help you out? That is what a true soul sister is, and that is why you are inspiring so many people, and that is why you've created this book. So thank you. I
Thank you,
want to
Jess.
get into your publishing company and ask you a few questions. Now, it's not only that you decided to be a writer, because everybody can be a writer and everybody can go, publish a book, but you decided to take it a step further and step away from the coaching for a minute. You decided to go create a publishing company. Now, how did that turn about?
It's funny. I actually, in 2017, I took suicide off the table and I brought on a warrior mindset. And I was like, I have to be my own hero. I have to, overcome this. But I had struggled with chronic pain for 30 years and CPTSD. And so I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't have a career. I didn't have anything I was able to do. I didn't have anything that I could do that I could enjoy, that gave me worth, that made me feel fulfilled. And that's what led to my years and years of suicide, right? I wrote a little children's jingle, like a little poem, and I put it on an author's page, and someone reached out to me and said, you should write children's books. And so we started, and he was like a one guy publishing company kind of thing. And he's the one that really helped me build my company and taught me how to write. And we went through stories together and he helped me develop characters. Jerry Van Diver, he's the one that taught me just go for the gold. Let's make it a whole publishing company, dive into it. You're going to go places. You're amazing. As soon as you get out of your head and start, really moving forward, you're going to be amazing. And we kind of had a falling out, but I know that he would be so proud of me for going on podcasts now and teaching everything I've learned about never giving up, because after everything I went through with him and then another publishing company and trying to find illustrators and stuff, it's really been one thing after another. It's been a long, long hurdle, and like $13,000 in 5 years. So it's been a long road, but that's how Woody Knoll Publishing came to be. And yeah, it ended up the Woody Knoll came from, we lived in my husband's 100-year-old farmhouse in Salem, New Hampshire, and my family went through a lot of difficult times there. And so I just wrote like a little jingle about the Woody Knoll in the back, and my animals are there, and that's where people go to find healing and strength. And so if you go on my website, woodyknollpublishing.com, you can see the little poem I wrote, bring that all together. And so it's a whole entire world that I've created, and I've got all these storyboards and all the characters, and it's my empire I'm building. It's very exciting.
That is very
Yeah.
exciting. Now, are you teaming up with other writers? Are you looking for new authors to publish for your company, or are you strictly doing it for yourself?
Right now, just for me as I'm learning the process. And then I went through a couple of illustrators, and I found Becky Stout, who did the illustration for this book, which is clearly spectacular. And
Yes.
then her husband did the text layout, and they helped me put the whole book together. And they did the editing, the text layout, the illustration, and then they helped me publish it. And I would not have this if it weren't for them. I'd still be on this long, lonely road. But God gave them to me, sent them to me as a gift. And so for my next Woody Knoll series, I'm going to have her edit. And then I actually hired another guy, Brian Martin, and he's going to help me. He's going to do my Woody Knoll series for illustrations. So for now, that's what I'm working on. And I'm doing my podcast interviews, not just to get my book out there, my books out there. If I don't get on big enough podcasts in the next 6 months, I will probably be starting my own. So yeah, it's
Well,
just so much stuff I never thought, in February 2017, when I made that decision, to meet myself where I was and lost and in chronic pain and just miserable. You've got to really just meet yourself where you are and accept the path that you're on where you are, and move forward from there. And that's my thing.
that is
Yeah.
so very true. How how has your business been holding up during the COVID? Because I know that's why I created this series. Because for one, positive businesses never get a light shined on them. We always hear about the negative, you know,
Cardi B's doing good.
business. Yeah. We hear all the negative stuff. If it's related to sex, you're going to hear about it. But if it's related to good stuff or good people that are running a good business, it never gets shined on. So that's why I created this podcast, so I can get people like yourself that are just want to be known for contributing something to this world other than just negative. Now I have a viewer here ask you a question, Fafa Fratini, and she says, can you guard suggest me some affordable illustrators? So that is the biggest thing, is you get a little overwhelmed when it comes to, if you have a book that has pictures in it, because you obviously, if you can't draw, then you have to find somebody, and then that can get expensive. So how did you overcome that hurdle?
I paid I paid a few $1,000s, several $1,000s to my illustration. Like, you do the cover and everything, and every time you do edits, you've got to pay extra. So it can be a lot of money. So I found someone kind of in the middle. You can go on Fiverr and find people who can do simple little illustrations. It depends on how many pages you have. If you want full color, I got watercolor, so it was expensive. So you could go on Fiverr, or what I really suggest to get someone good, like with a contract that you can trust, that you can work with and have like a nice corporation with, the illustrator pages on Facebook. There are at least a dozen. So go on some author illustrator pages and just say, I'm looking for an illustrator, and you'll be flooded with 100 people sending you one.
That's how it always works too. When you start out, everybody's like, "Ooh, fresh meat, let's go!" And but
Yeah, yeah.
always reach out, and it's always good to always say to get in a group. Get your people around you, get a tribe of people around you. So whatever your craft is, if you're going to be a writer, you better be getting yourself in some writer groups. And the most
There's someone for
important thing is,
everybody on Facebook. Yeah.
yeah, and she says thanks for the suggestion. So, and it's very important. A lot of people, the biggest thing is they want to say that they want to write a book, but it's all about, you have to. My angels told me this one day. They said a musician schedules time to be a musician, an artist schedules time to be an artist. You can't just expect to be a writer and not schedule time. Just like people say, I don't have time for self-care, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing, is to your book and your publishing company, you had to put a lot of thought, and you had to put a daily process into that to make it become more than just a
Hours and
dream.
hours and hours and hours. And I was so blessed to not be able to practically even walk or have a job. So I got to stay home on my butt on my couch all day, every day and write. So when I finally found that craft, and that was something, I mean, that just, your self-esteem and your worth goes way up, and I wanted it to be a way that I could bring money into my home too, because I wasn't real effective for 30 years.
Well,
So
hey, it's
yeah.
really nice to be the CEO of your own company, because then you're in charge of your own paycheck. And I really like that, because I don't like other people telling me how much money I can make, because then you're putting a value on my worth, and my worth is unlimited. So
It is. And
now,
you had asked about COVID and how my company was doing during COVID. That was like the ultimate
yes.
question. It's okay. My book has kind of slumped after the first drop, the first launch, the beginning of October. But then, Christmas comes and goes and everything. But now I definitely, this really has the potential to be like a #1 bestseller. But it is on, dementia, grief, and loss. And while there are a lot of people who need that, it is more defined, and you've got to really kind of focus in on those people. It's not something that people are going to be like, oh, look at the cute little, Rainbow Ponies book, I'm going to go, buy one for $5. It's like, who wants to buy a book on grief? But if you look at it, and the whole point of my book too isn't just about losing a loved one. My book serves hope and joy. Like, the ultimate message is choosing joy and overcoming grief, and it teaches kids coping skills. And I've had 30-year-old, 50-year-old, 70-year-old women say, this book was a balm to my soul. It soothed my soul. It healed me in places I didn't know needed healing. So for a children's book, it's just all of my adult pain and my adult shame and my adult grief over the loss of an entire childhood lost due to child abuse and bullying and everything, I took that passion and that faith and hope and put it into a simple child's book,
That's
children's
amazing.
book. So it's epic. Yeah.
And if you could, just real quick, because we're going to be wrapping this up shortly, but if you could read us a couple of excerpts from your book, and like you said, this book is called A Million More Kisses, and it's a book that you can, if you know someone that's experiencing child abuse or you don't know how to talk about it to someone, this is the perfect book to give them because it's not graphic. It doesn't, it's a very well put together book, and that's why I like it so much, because some of those books are like, no, I don't think so. But this is, Geronimo is the dog, and it has a character that the kids can latch onto. And I've worked for mental health, for kids' mental health before, and I know that's really important, is they don't feel like they have any friends. So by having an animal, that's amazing, because now you didn't trigger them. You didn't put them in guy or girl or anything. Now it's an animal and it's safe. And so if you could go ahead and just share us a couple of, a little excerpt.
Okay. So the book, we've taken the kids through little Geronimo the Chihuahua, through his relationship with Geronimo and his nanny, his elderly nanny. And nanny has passed away, so now Geronimo has to get over his loss. See, so Geronimo is, I can't tell if you can see
Yeah.
my whole screen or just the half. Okay. So Geronimo remembered Nanny's words by the stream. I wonder what they're trying to tell us. We are still here, Geronimo heard them say. The wildflowers are still here. Audrey in the library is still here. You will have fun again. At Nani's funeral, everyone had special stories to share about her. Geronimo learned a lot about Nani. When someone needed a place to live, Nani would invite them to stay. When someone came over for a visit, Nani would cook them a meal. Geronimo realized he must be special for Nani to love him so much. The long winter passed. Geronimo's tongue hung down as he lay in the sun. He missed Nani's wildflowers in the stream. He missed her gentle voice as she read their stories. A warm breeze blew over Geronimo, and he remembered Nani's soft touch. Instead of feeling sad, he allowed the beautiful memories to make him feel happy. He realized that memories are a gift, a special gift left by someone who will always love him. And we see how his identity and what he learned about Nani and how loved he must be. Our identity, our faith, our hope, what feeds us, our worth, that is so important for helping us get through grief. And so as we take our kids through this process of COVID loss and everything, just remember they really need to have that identity every day and remember who they are and created for a purpose and whatever, but they just need that, whatever you believe, but they just need that faith and the hope to feed them worth so that they can get over life's losses.
I very much believe that. And I believe it always starts with the kids. I'm an indigo child. My daughter is a crystal child. And that is just where I'm the protector of her and she is the giver of love. So it kind of, circles around like the angels. And I really believe that that's why we're starting to see so many kids with like disabilities and stuff, and they're starting to get a light shined on it because, for one, the angels are really tired of their light workers getting picked on. I've been I've been picked on before, but that's why I've felt like I've known why I've been so aggressive in my life, because they also made sure that I got picked on, but then I've been a blessing to some people, and I've also been a lesson because I do not deal with I remember even in middle school, if you picked on a girl because she had glasses, I would just show up and be like, what about you? And I would make that kid feel so bad. Now,
I
that was
needed
not a
you.
good way, but I
Yeah.
was 12 and I just know I didn't
Awesome.
tolerate it. And I didn't care if I knew you or not. If it happens in my vicinity and I'm around, I'm not going to get involved in your situation, but I'm not going to let it happen in front of me, and I'm going to
Yeah.
stop it. So
Yeah.
speak
That's
up.
awesome.
And that's what I like, is people are starting to speak up, but don't be a Karen, don't be a Carol about it.
Use your
Don't
big
be
boy words.
antagonizing,
Big
and
girl
don't be
words.
triggering, because people have
Yeah.
done that to me too. And it's really annoying. You know what? You don't know what's going on in people's brain, and you don't know how people have lived, and you don't know how, if people are just trying to make the best of their life and just try to live out peacefully. So please stop picking and bullying. And also a fun little fact, anything I've ever made fun of in my life, my angels gave me my what goes around comes around. Guess what? Anything I have ever made fun of, even when I was a kid and didn't understand why I was making fun of it, I have now those people
Experienced
have
it.
come into my
Yeah.
life. Yeah, I've experienced it all, and I've even become most of it. It's funny. Like, I used to make fun of vegetarians because I was in that. I didn't understand it. It was weird
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
Guess who's a vegetarian? So
yeah.
I just
I'm
tell
getting them
people,
myself. It's so funny. It's so funny.
don't make fun of people, because you know what? Whatever you make fun of, it's funny. All those really hateful people, you ever notice they die of like something really terrible, some really
Like
terrible
cancer,
cancer?
right? The
That's
anger
because all
disease.
their
Yes,
hate
yeah.
is just burning. So let it go, let it be free, and go out and inspire people like Renee here, and go contribute things. Now, how can people reach you if they would like to get in touch with you about your book, maybe get some advice about the whole process, or,
Yeah.
are you running any specials on your book or anything right now?
Right now, you can reach me at Knoll Publishing. I have a contact me page. You can find me on TikTok at Author for Kids. You can find me on Facebook at Renee Pelletier Schultz, or on IG at Strong Kids, Strong Minds. Yep, you can order my a hard copy from me on my by my website for just $14.99. A signed copy for $14.99. My Calendly link if you'd like a 45-minute soul spritzer just to talk about you and what you're going through, and you need some boundaries, and you need help just kind of putting things together. It's just a free consultation. I would love to share some stuff with you, and so that we can all spread it together, right? I spread it to you, and everybody spreads it around all together. So
Well, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much again for coming out and sharing this
thank
amazing book.
you.
I love it. I love sharing these kind of messages with people, because I want people out there to support you and
Thank you.
help you on your journey, because I know that once you get more on your journey, that is the whole point of this podcast too, is once you get more on your journey, you're going to pay it forward. And I'm very big on paying it forward to
Yes,
people.
yes.
So what is your advice rolling out of here for everyone, that you would give on, if they have a dream, if they want to create uh, their own business right now, but they're looking at their reality of, I don't have money, this is never going to work, and their ego is talking. What advice would you give them to go past that and show them dreams really do come true?
One thing is to meet yourself where you are. Meet yourself where you are. You can't work with anything more if you don't have it, right? Whoever you are, whatever you're struggling with, wherever you are in your life, just meet yourself where you are and begin the baby steps. And remember, bit by bit, row by row, that's how we make our dreams grow. Just little bit by little bit, pecking along. You don't have to take big, huge steps, and never give up. If you do your best every day with whatever you have, you can't ask any more of yourself, and you're going to get there and take advantage of every single opportunity, every opportunity. Yep. You'll get
Awesome.
there. Yep.
Thank you so much, Renee. I
Thank you
appreciate you
so
coming.
much. So joyful. I love you. Thank you.
Good. Thank you,
All right.
everybody. This is all for today. Have a wonderful day, and love and light to all of you beautiful souls. Bye.
Bye-bye.